I know. How can we operate without music is really a
usually
good
I'm not
question.
hearing it because it's... Now I hear it.
Yeah, there we go. The calming music of Muzak.
Muzak. Yes.
And my system's running a little odd. I can see there's like a delay in me.
Oh, that's...
Do you see that? Ridiculous.
Well, I mean, there's usually one from where I'm at. So
I had the power off today, or the power tripped, and so maybe. Hang on a sec.
Got to change all these settings. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I know. Got behind on a bunch of stuff, as it turns out. So it's insane. I got to change all these settings here too, because we are
like a reset on my.
You know what's funny? So the category we're in is just chatting, and underneath it is Just Dance 2020. We'd love to get that backwards someday. That would be awesome.
Why does it not see my camera?
I don't know, but I like that's a good still. I'm going to put on match commentary, and we're going to get a bunch of soccer hooligans.
Love it.
Yeah.
The best kind of hooligans.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have hooligans, that's what you want, the kind you want, for sure.
The original.
Because they don't make any sense, and they're drunk, and, yeah, you know, it's my people.
Have you ever hung out with the hooligans?
Yeah, I have, actually. So what was super weird is when I lived in England for a year, you end up having friends that you meet at the pub.
Yeah.
And one of the guys that I met at the pub, it was funny because he was like really nice otherwise, but he prided himself on getting thrown out of the Nottingham Forest Stadium before every game, like to the point where he couldn't even get through the gate. Like the cops would see him coming and they just boot him. And I was like, what were you doing? I mean, that's like super weird.
Yeah, what does he get out of
really
that?
Cool, but well, then, I don't know. He just loved it. It was his goal in life for some reason. He said all you had to do is just buy a beer and then drink half of it and throw it, and
that'll do it.
They'd throw you out, yeah.
Yeah,
so I was talking to some folks on the Fark page, and they suggested a couple of articles, one of which I surprisingly had not seen, although we did link it earlier. So that was it was an overnight one, I think, so I missed it, or it was over the weekend. I stay the hell off of news on the weekend just because I get plenty of that during the week.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I come back on Monday and I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? So. Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for your submissions.
Yeah.
We salute you.
So we got a bunch of stuff actually. It's really funny. Although it's really weird. So I start compiling stories on Monday morning, and usually by Monday afternoon I'm like, oh, we got a whole show here. And then usually by Tuesday morning when I'm starting to cut it down, I axe all of those because they aren't as funny to me anymore for some reason, and I don't know why.
Well, it happens. It's like writing something and then you like come look back at it, or editing something. You're like, that is a pile of crap. It's not going to see the light of day.
Well, usually too, the articles would be, well, what the hell else can I say about this other than this thing happened? And I kept a couple of them just because they were super weird. So there won't be a whole lot we can go into on those. But yeah, generally I try to keep those at a minimum unless we give 10 of them, and then we can switch it over to a lightning round. But we were kind of in the middle today. It was like 5 and they weren't that great. So I was like,
all right. Let me see how I'm loading up here.
All right, sounds good.
It's I need to use it. What would be a better browser? Chrome is such a ball hog.
I like Firefox. I mean, I don't know if it's better or not. The other one to take a look at, I also don't know if it's better or not, is the Brave browser. That's the one
I've heard of that.
Supposedly, yeah, it supposedly gives. I mean, I get notifications all the time. I think we have like 5 people using it, and it gives a little. It gives like some of their own cryptocurrency, which automatically have the wallet that grabs it converted into US dollars because I'd rather have money I can spend. And the conversion rate's like 10,000 of their things to a cup of coffee, but yeah, like over time it adds up, so that ain't bad. It's a very privacy centric browser, so I don't know, but I use Firefox because I realize Chrome's an ad company, and.
Oh, it absolutely is. I should think of it like if Facebook started had a browser. of their own.
Yeah, exactly.
And be like, what's, I'm sure this is all on the up and up. Sure, it's all great.
Like, they launched their group video chat, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, your entire business is selling me crap.
It is. It is. In fact, I was really tempted recently to. I was just like, should I just get off of that all the way? Get off the Facebook.
Yeah, I'm close, man. The only reason I keep it is because other people use it. I mean, I don't ever browse it or anything because it's like I don't care what people are doing. I'm kind of busy.
Right.
So I keep it so other people can get a hold of me, but it's like, I don't know.
Right. I don't think how much value is there? It's like, I mean, whenever there's whenever there's something big that happens that involves somebody new in the world, like a mass shooting or something like that, it's like, let's go to Facebook and see if it's still up, what crazy stuff has been said in the past.
Yeah, they try to take that stuff down, but it's
and they do that fairly quickly. So I don't know what purpose there is.
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot for it. Like I said, I keep it for other people. It's like, but
I kind of miss the days when people just had their own individual blogs. And
I wish
it was like if you
updated
it, you owned all the property of what you're putting on. And if you did any ads, it was just fine. But it was like now they just found a way to make you work for them. You're all an employee of Facebook.
Well, that's how it worked, right? I mean, the first people on there built up these huge follower accounts, and then they finally landed on their business model. They throttled it back, so now you can't reach anybody unless you pay.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what's the point of this? Interestingly, an article I didn't pull because it's kind of boring, but along those lines, the New York Times pulled out of Apple's news thing, which is interesting because they were trying to do kind of a group subscription, whatever, but it was the usual problem of Apple's trying to pull 30% and gain market power through platform advantage. And the New York Times said that their going forward strategy is they want to drive people to their own website.
Right.
I can't believe they're the only ones who realize that that's actually what they ought to be doing.
Right. And it's working for them, at least with the New York Times, I believe the Washington Post as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's harder, but at the end of the day, if there's an algorithm change, your audience sticks around, I mean, that's like something you don't have to worry about.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway.
I've gone to the Apple News before, and it's like, I think most of it seems like it's powered by people.
Yeah.
Meaning the magazine, the news content or something. It was just, it's not this amazing thing that they talked it up to be.
Yeah, I mean, how much better could it be anyway? It's like we got an algorithm that gives you stuff. Okay, well, that's great. I mean, is it going to be more amazing than the other one? Probably not.
Yeah.
They're not too hard to write, actually. It's pretty easy to figure out. I mean, basically, we just get outraged really easily, so you just feed people more of that, and they think they're getting a good experience.
No. And
anyway.
There's certain places you look. Hey, hopefully you're looking at Fark, checking out things.
Exactly. That's our advantage is that it's not curated for you, so you might see some stuff you didn't expect, which is kind of the point, actually. It's funny that that's rare now.
You know what you need to do? You need to find a way to, kind of like Facebook, kind of like that Rick and Morty episode where the battery dies on his spacecraft, and so they have to go into the battery, and he's actually he's created a culture that powers just his battery.
Yeah.
And they keep going down and down. That's what you need. You need to find a way to harness all the Farkers. I'm sure somebody's approached you in the past and been like, hey, you got all these. How can we turn these people into a dollar bill? How can we?
I mean, I'm sure nobody knows the answer, so that's why we've never done anything.
Plus,
but that's okay.
Gross.
Yeah, I know. It's like I think that was the plot of The Matrix, wasn't
it? Yeah, that's true. It is. It is.
If it had a plot, that was it.
Drew and I got together this weekend for a socially distanced dinner.
Yeah, we did. That was a good time.
It was great. Had a great time.
Yeah, got rocked drinking some gin and tricky drinks, so that was pretty good.
Yeah. Microverse. Yes, that's right. It was the Microverse.
Indeed.
That was a great one. Love it.
We have an article about that with Ant-Man that I already greened. I don't know if it's out yet or not, about what if Ant-Man showed up in 2020. That might be worth a look. I didn't pull it for this show, but it's on there.
Worth a look. All right, man. You ready for some news?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Coronavirus mutation has taken over the world. Scientists are trying to understand why.
So this is, again, I keep talking about articles that I've tried to put a pin in. in case they turn out to be true or relevant. And this is one that's been floating around for a while, actually since back in May, as it turns out. There's a guy I follow named Trevor Bedford, and I keep on getting him confused with, I had a professor in college named Stephen Bedford, and it's Trevor. And he's actually the guy that set up the project they reference in this article. He's been doing this genome tracking project where I don't know how often, but every once in a while somebody will sequence their whatever version of the coronavirus they've got, and then they'll throw it up there. And what's happening is that one of the variants seems to be taken over for most of the cases. Now, the one conclusion you could reach is that it is more infectious. Well, okay, maybe. The other conclusion you could reach is, well, we've done a particularly bad job of reining in the virus, and it turns out that maybe the one that got to the United States would just take over because, that can happen. We don't actually know why. They're taking a look at it. He actually pointed this thing out back in May as something worth keeping an eye on, but I looked him up on Twitter because he only posts like once a week. He had nothing to say about this yet, so my guess is it's still inconclusive. So the issue is that this new G variant may have modified the spike protein so it's more infectious, but we don't know. So I'm putting a pin in this. But if you want to freak out your friends, you can tell them that, okay, this thing's at least universally recognized as having mutated. The question is a relevant mutation? We don't know.
Yeah, nobody says, wow, that was a great mutation. That was fantastic. No. Good things happened after that mutation.
Yeah, not this time. So we're gonna have to sit around and wait. And also, I got a story I got to send you that got missed. But let's go to the next one.
Send it to me. But first, I want to point out, as you can see, what I've been looking at recently.
What is it?
That fan. We were Big Air 96-inch fan. We were sitting on my porch and talking about how nice it would be to have a giant fan. So great to know that the ads are
really
following
big
me
there,
around.
man.
That's I think it might be a little too big.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, change, you stupid thing.
Got to wake the hamster up.
Got to shake it loose.
Yeah.
With more of these sounds, it'll do it. It did it.
Eventually.
It did it? Okay. Holy cow, what is lagging on me?
Man, you must have some kids that are running something.
One more. Chinese researchers discover human pandemic potential swine flu strain in pigs. Now, I told my friend this. He'd sent me an article like this. I don't like the word potential in a headline.
Yeah, well, that means not. That's how. Because if they don't put that in there, then it's a lie. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So the reason it's potential is because they found this thing. It's another variant of swine flu, and the potential because it hasn't actually infected anybody yet. I don't even know how they found it, honestly. I mean, maybe they're just checking all the pigs out or something. Oh man, look at that! It's at So it turns out that it's done by a guy who's at Nottingham University. We were just talking about. That's where I went to college in England. Anyway, so. Okay, yeah, potential. I mean, that's where you're at right there. It hasn't. What was interesting is that. So I mean, the reason why it's potential is because the swine flu that went around in 2009 was one of these potential ones that jumped out of Mexico, according to this article. And they were worried it was going to be super deadly, but it wasn't. Although my wife and middle kid got it, and they were sick as dogs for a week, or sick as pigs, as the case may be. And it ended up being not as bad because it turns out older people were carrying antibodies for it, so it didn't kill as many people as say coronavirus.
Wait, they got the actual? Your kids got the actual swine flu?
Yeah, back in 2009, Heather
nice.
and Chance had it really bad. I might have, but every time I get something, I get like a little mild version of whatever it is, and so
yeah.
I mean, we don't know if I had it or not. Yeah. But anyway, so this is one of those. We actually have a few apocalypses today, and that's the first one. I forgot to lump them all together.
Awesome.
So we're gonna have to break them up.
Russia denies being behind a mysterious radiation leak making its way across Scandinavia. I'm sure when Chernobyl happened, they also just jumped front and center right off and said us.
Yeah. No, they did exactly what you thought they would do. They said, we don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Yeah, so I like pretending this is a giant fart, honestly, because radiation clouds are a little scary. There's he who smelt a delta component to it that we can use. Everybody's blaming each other, like, that wasn't me, it was you guys. Yeah, so everybody's pointing fingers. Russia's trying to claim that somebody in Scandinavia did it. Nobody in Scandinavia believes that for a minute. They don't know what it is. This thing's been floating around for a while. It's not enough to cause, well, I mean, so they say anyway. It's not enough to cause, mutations or mass evacuations or radioactive wolves, as we've seen in the past. Actually, that's a real thing.
The coolest of wolves.
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, they're radioactive. But yeah, so they don't know what the hell it is. It is according to the people who know such things in the Netherlands, they say that it looks like it's a damaged fuel in a power plant, but Russia's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, based on that, I doubt we're ever going to find out unless the thing explodes and can be seen from space.
Right, right.
So there you go. But
awesome.
My money's on Russia.
But it is detected. It is detected.
Yeah, it is detected. It's floating. So there you go.
PIA, Pakistan's national airline, has grounded a third of its pilots for having fake licenses.
So this is one of those stories that keeps on giving. There's a little bit of a backstory to this. Okay, so here's how this went. So in late May, there was a airliner crash in Pakistan, killed all but 2 people on board, and that was tragic. And so the government of Pakistan decided, well, let's look into this and figure out what caused it. Well, what caused that was apparently, according to this article, the 2 pilots spent most of the entire time on their flight talking about coronavirus. And the tower told them 3 times not to land, and they just kind of did it anyway. And then when they landed, they tried to pull up right at the end, scrape the engines on the back of the plane. That's not good for flying.
Wow.
And, yeah, then they rolled the thing, which is not good for a plane. So now I can't connect these dots for you, but as a result of the investigation involved in figuring out what the hell happened, they have somehow discovered that of the government-run airlines, which is Pakistan International Airlines, which is only 1 T away from being pain in the ass, turns out they found that 141 of its 450 pilots are not going to be used for flying duties going forward because they had suspicious licenses. And what they meant by that is these dudes paid other people to take their pilot's license test.
Oh my gosh. And they were actually flying, right?
Yes, they're active pilots.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's how you crash your plane and, break the engines off of the back half of it and killed 97 people. But at any rate, yeah, so between here and there, they're like, it was a third of them. And I'm like, good Lord, man, like, how'd you miss that? How are they even flying?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's a complicated thing. But
well, Ox45 Tallboy says, I did that in GTA Online yesterday. So it can be done. Maybe these guys were just really, really good. I can't imagine, though. Here's the biggest thing for me. How crazy do you have to believe to actually step into a plane having not actually trained yourself, not actually gotten the hours, and then just do it as if you can pull it off?
A shot, yeah.
I don't know. They like watching YouTube videos or something?
Yeah, maybe they're pulling them out mid-flight. They're like, okay, to land. All right, type that in real quick.
Yeah. All right, well.
I don't know what's going on. So let's do this one, and then do the one I texted you next, because that one we got to get to.
Ryanair pilots.
This is an order.
Ryanair pilots probed after video shows one using rubber chicken to operate throttle.
So to give an example of what constitutes a pilot-related national uproar in Britain, they're all bent because this guy is being unprofessional because he was piloting his plane using a rubber chicken. Seems fine to me. He didn't crash it.
I don't have a problem with it, and he probably saw the press from SpaceX and their little thing, and he was like, well, I fly all the time. I can put a chicken in here.
Yeah. Well, he was flying. Well, apparently the outrage, he was using the chicken to touch the controls to fly the plane. Now, I'm thinking, he didn't crash it. He got where he's going. This is kind of funny, and he's a real pilot. Right. I mean, we got all kinds of things going for us here, so I don't understand what the deal is.
But as a pilot, I would think it's not a great time to push the limits of anything. Like, if they're looking to fire or lay off anyone, you just became high on their list.
Yeah.
As far as messing with that. All right. Famous Powerball winner has died. Oh, I remember this dude.
Yeah, he's been on Fark multiple times, and today for probably the last time, unless he somehow kills somebody from beyond the grave. And given who we're talking about here, that's possible. What happened here is that Jack Whittaker, he was, I think at the time he won the Powerball, it was the largest Powerball win ever. It was $315 million.
Which is
he won on Christmas
crazy.
Eve. Yeah, it was a lot of damn money. He won it on Christmas Eve 2002. And I can't remember. I mean, he probably made it on Fark then for that, but then he made it on Fark several other times because he's just not a very careful guy. And then his life went to crap. So let's kind of run down. So one of the things that Whittaker used to do for some reason is that he lived in a small town in West Virginia, and he really liked this one strip club. And I don't know if there were more strip clubs, but he liked this one.
Well, you got to stick with what you know. At that age.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not changing to that newfangled strip club.
No. He was apparently he was also rich when he was a millionaire when he won too, which is also strange. But
that is.
At any rate, so he hangs out at the strip club all the time, and then somehow, and I'm assuming just because strippers talk to each other, word got out. Not only that, I mean, he drove the same truck his entire life, and then he would keep a suitcase full of cash in it. In the parking lot. He wouldn't take the suitcase full of cash into the strip club. He'd leave it out there. That thing got robbed at least 3 times that I know of. Somebody broke into his truck, stole his suitcase full of cash, and they mentioned a couple of times. The first time it was for $500,000.
Oh my gosh.
The second time was $200,000. I thought there was a third time, but they don't mention it. They did recover the money the second time. But I'm like, okay, so let's say you're dumb enough to leave $500,000 in cash in your car and it gets robbed. Isn't that enough of a lesson not to do it twice? Not this guy. He's like, I got $300 million, whatever.
I feel like, though, that's a great way of paying off somebody to do something for you.
It is, yeah. I'd be like,
you leave it in there, you're like, hey, you know, it's an awesome way to pay for this. Great money laundering technique.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, though, things took a turn for the worse soon after that. Basically, other family members of his started dying. His granddaughter died of a drug overdose, and his daughter had some bad stuff happen, and then it was just basically a disaster. It was really interesting. Oh, yeah, and his home was destroyed in 2016 by a fire, and then he got divorced, and he died rich, but that's about all you could say for him because things didn't work out. The only nice thing is that at least the woman who sold him the ticket, he bought her a house and a car and gave her $50,000. So that was pretty cool.
She probably ended up better off than he did.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, he's actually the poster child for people who win the lottery and then everything goes downhill dramatically. So well, anyway, I don't know. It doesn't say what he died for, but good luck in the afterlife with your heavenly strippers and your giant pile of money that you can't take with you.
Porn star wanted by police after filming sex scene on bus without face mask.
And I like that the outrage is the without a face mask part. Like the sex scene on a bus, we might do that, right? I mean, Also, by the way, I just want to point out, if you scroll through the photos, the only reason this article made it into the news is because cleavage. That's basically it.
Is that her? It almost looks like a stock image photo, but I guess
I have to assume so because there's a bunch. They don't show any of the sex acts in there. I don't believe it's probably.
Sorry, everyone. My Chrome is this. Okay, this is the last time I'm using Chrome for this one. It's dying under the weight of the Daily Star.
Oh, they're probably trying to load like 100 billion ads on you too. Some of these guys, like The Guardian, and you pull that up, and there's like 4 things you got to click X on to even be able to read the article.
Yeah. You know what? The article finally popped up here. One thing I do love about this is it almost seems like an advert for her. Police in Colombia are looking for an adult performer. Okay, so we get the full name in there. Also, there is a video, and where is it? Oh, on Pornhub. And they should have just put a link right there because they include everything necessary for finding her later.
Indeed, yeah. Wow, they even described the plot of the video. It's only a sentence. Apparently like 2 guys meet her and then they start using sex toys on the bus. That happens, right?
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's
all the time.
The cleanest of places I'd want to use one of those. That is not good. And if I can... Come on!
You know what? This one's probably going to crush your browser. The Daily Mail loves loading crap up.
Oh, my gosh. We need... Nigerian influencer with 2.4 million Instagram followers who posted pictures of private jets and luxury watches is arrested in Dubai amid claims of a £350 million cyber scam, or euro. I guess that's the euro.
No, that's pounds.
That is pounds? Hey, you got it right the first time. All right.
I was about to say that's like $1.50, but it isn't right now because they're kind of suffering. It's closer to like $1.25, I think. So this was weird for a couple of reasons. One of those Nigerian guys finally made it. So, yay, it is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this guy was busted. And it's really funny, too, because they say he was pretending to be rich, but based on all of the stuff they say in the rest of the article, it sounds like he really was rich. Now, granted, he scammed people to get the money, but that still counts.
Oh, absolutely it does.
They mentioned that when they raided his apartment, he had, let's see if I can find the actual, the FBI seized more than 30 million pounds in cash in his apartment. So I looked this up because I was like, well, how big is that? So you can fit $1 million in cash in a suitcase if you use $100 bills.
Okay.
So that means he had, if it's $1.25, he had about 40 suitcases full of $100 bills or 100-pound notes or whatever.
Wow.
In his apartment, which I guess was big. They didn't say how big it was, but if you scroll down and you see all the pictures of this guy, it's like there he is, with the world's most awkward selfie out of a hot tub, and he's drinking a glass of wine. I like to pretend they're alone and the camera floats. And then they're arresting him. So apparently the deal with this guy is that and they don't say exactly how, but he had a bunch of apps and a bunch of fake websites, and basically he was getting people to log into those. And then he was getting their accounts, and he had 2 million credit cards, and it's easy to be rich when you can run 2 million credit cards.
It's the best way. I feel like I'm doing all the wrong things. So
exactly, yeah. Well, no, he's going to jail now, so he had a good run.
No, it's true. I am alive. I'm at home in my basement with crappy Chrome.
Yeah. You're not in jail.
Come on. Oh, my gosh. That one's not working. That one's not working. But we do get to see a picture of him. There we go. What did I click on? Florida. USA adjustable 3D print layer veil.
So either you know what this looks like, and this is hilarious, or you don't. And I'm not even going to go describe it. And the reason why is because it's an old, disgusting internet meme that has been around for about 20 years. I don't even want to say it because every time I do, people are like, oh, I've never heard of that before. And I'm like, well, don't go click on it. And then I always tell them, and when I say don't go click on it, I mean like don't. I mean, you could live the rest of your life. And they're like, no, I really want to see this. And then they go click on it, and I'm like, see, that's what you get. Most of everybody who's watching this probably knows what this looks like. I have a hard time believing that the people that made this didn't know about it either. And I'm almost tempted to get one of them just because the in-joke potential is hilarious. But yeah, it's $15. I'm not that excited.
Are those hands the actual part of the original thing? Is that
they could? Well, the way you can tell is they'll look for a wedding ring. That's usually what I look for to spot. The original one did have a wedding ring on, which is also classic. Not only that, but the original photo that was probably used to model this actually had an entire photo set that I ended up seeing on Something Awful, like 40 pictures. And I don't have to describe what the actual photo is, but I can describe this part. Eventually, the dude shoves a traffic cone in his ass. Don't go look for this photo, guys. Because that's not the gross part, all right? So
did it fit? That's my question. Did it fit?
Easily. Don't go look for this.
Was it full size or was it like the size you use for practicing soccer?
It was full size. Yeah.
Don't. Highway construction level.
Yeah. Nobody needs. If you haven't seen this already, don't. Meanwhile, true story though, a friend of mine, since you can get photos printed on cakes now. He pixelated it just enough so you couldn't tell exactly what you were looking at, and he made a cake out of it.
Oh my
gosh. That was pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
That was hard to eat.
But you muscled through.
Well, alcohol is a powerful drug. All I'm saying.
Canadian Tire peels back problem with Mr. Potato Head glitch in Lindsay.
Yeah, I had to translate this from the original Canadian because I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah, this
is great. Well, for some reason, Canadian Tire, and I'm guessing that they sell stuff other than tires because the photo I'm looking at's got a bunch of pool noodles and kayaks out front.
Yeah, they must have they forgot to put tires and more. That's what we do in the good old US of A.
Exactly. And so what happened is that for some reason, starting around 7 a.m. on Monday, at 5 locations in Lindsay and Whitby, which I don't know where those are, but let's say it's out near Letterkenny probably. I mean, it actually could be. For some reason, for most of the day, everything that people tried to buy rang up as Mr. Potato Head.
That's an interesting one. I love that.
How did that happen? They said foul play is not suspected, although I would suspect crappy programmers, honestly.
Right.
If I had to guess.
Absolutely. But were the prices correct?
Well, I mean, if you buy Mr. Potato Head, yes. Otherwise, no. They were all wrong except for that one item.
Awesome. Police dog helps nab suspected drunk driver on Sesame Street.
Yeah, now that's pretty much the whole news article, but I want to point out something in this photo. Does that dog have a body cam?
Absolutely.
I mean, look at that thing. What the hell did they get that angle on a police dog, man? That's like, I think the dog's wearing a camera, which has got to make for some great footage.
Why have we not seen this yet? There have been so many shootings, things like this, and they always release the cams. How awesome to see the actual dog cam.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be great. I want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't know you could get a DUI, and I didn't know any place was really named Sesame Street. But at any rate, that's an easy joke to make. So there you go.
That one didn't work.
Yeah, it's the Daily Star again. Every time we hit a UK one, it's like
Rocky star Dolph Lundgren, 62, cruelly mocked over engagement to fiancée 24. Shouldn't he be getting high fives? Isn't that what you get?
Yeah, you'd think so. Okay, first of all, I mean, I don't know why you would get engaged at that age unless, I guess that was part of the deal or something.
Why?
Also,
why can't you just buy a hooker?
He was in other movies. Don't forget, this guy was in the live-action He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie in 1987.
Oh,
I think it was. Yeah, which sucked out loud. But at any rate, I think that killed his career. But then again, here's the other interesting thing, though. Have you got to the photo of both of them?
It's not loading for me, which I really am not happy about.
Well, once it loads up, first of all, okay, she looks like an older 24. I'll go with that. But the other thing is, that's a good-looking dude. I mean, he's skinny.
Dolph is great. I think he's like featured a lot in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think they at least talked about him a lot. And great face, not
only that, like, he's not all swelled up anymore. He looks like European thin. I mean, this guy's a good-looking dude. And so normally when 24-year-olds get married to 62-year-old guys, I'm like, okay, it's for the money. This time I'd be like, well, I don't know, actually. Maybe this is working. I mean, he's not an ugly man, so, good for them.
If I was a 24-year-old girl, I'd rather marry him than me any day of the week.
Yeah, well, that might be what happened.
All right, we've got another one coming up at some point.
Eventually.
It's almost... Watch the ultimate Honda road rage video. You know what I decided I could do? I should just process these to PDFs every time. So I just
there you go. Yeah, that works. I don't know. This is kind of funny. I like it. It doesn't happen that often.
The ultimate Honda road rage video.
Yeah. So this is more like what happened after the road rage thing, but the video is pretty funny. I can't imagine seeing this going down the road. Go ahead and run that sucker.
Okay, I'm gonna hit a play.
I don't think you need audio on it. It's just them going, "What the hell? What the."
Oh, yes. This is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad enough that there's like fire coming out of there, but then wait till you see what's in front of this thing.
And the person seems very calm as they're...
Yeah.
Where's the motorcycles? Can you call them?
Where's the driver? Yeah.
Sorry, folks, for the non-skipping of the videos.
Yeah.
Just not moving. But it goes like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what happened was that they finally found the guy whose motorcycle that was. He just got hit from behind, and the dude kept going like he wasn't even there. He fell off. And then later on, they found that minivan. The guy abandoned the minivan, too, and he was 24 or 25 years old. So I don't know what happened there, honestly. Something was up.
So we don't have a background of, like, they hit them, and, I mean, obviously hit and run at some point, but...
Well, I mean, I know they ran off with the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the guy's okay. No broken bones, which is pretty good considering how hard he got hit. But yeah, and the other guy's in custody is he abandoned the minivan, which makes me think it wasn't his. Also, the fact that he was 25 makes me think the van wasn't his, but I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. It was his mom's. It was his mom's.
Somebody's going to get grounded.
I think Elon Musk needs to rescind Tesla privileges here ASAP. I have not.
This goes on for a little bit. This is also an older video, by the way, but it got submitted today, and it's still freaking hilarious. I don't know the backstory behind why this woman doesn't realize you can't put gas in a Tesla, but it's great.
Oh. Do you think maybe it was, in all fairness, maybe her boyfriend was like, here, borrow the car. Do this, do that.
I'm just wondering what indicator on the car and the inside told her she needed gas.
Oh, it must have said charge. You're out.
Yeah, I guess, but man.
Also, that hair almost doesn't look real. Like, that looks like a man wearing a wig to me.
Yeah, it does, actually.
Like, oh, where do I pull this trigger? Now, to be fair, much better than the old putting gasoline in a diesel engine.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that didn't happen here. Although I was a little worried that she would find something that seemed like a decent fit and start pumping, because that's the end of that car.
Right.
No, just sort of confounded.
She's like, first I'll do the money. First, I do the money.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Oh, this is fun. This is. It'll appear.
This isn't working.
Maybe it's one of those cars where if you get it close, it just appears.
Yeah. I love the laughing in the background though. That's the best part. They're losing it.
Is this in the trunk? You know, so I don't know if it does this, but maybe they're like, remember the 1970s when you did it under the license plate?
That's right, yeah maybe it's there. Yeah, the reaction to these guys is the best part. I love it when people are having a good time.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, start touching things. Wait, what was it? Oh, it was that's where the charger is, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it goes roughly where the gas tank goes, but obviously you're not supposed to put it.
When they designed it, they must have made it so they're like, all right, we're gonna have this situation. You got to make it so there's no hole there that you can put that in.
Yeah, somebody's gonna do it.
We'll just keep that sound going.
Just in the background, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Woman finishes off wine after crash as police find bottle of rosé and glass in car. I'm so glad it was rosé.
Yeah, well, of course, not only was it obviously rosé because the two women were in their mid-30s and that's all they drink. So good for them. But yeah, 4:15 in the morning, I had a little bit of an accident while driving drunk, and the cops showed up and they were finishing off that last bottle while they were waiting for the cops, which I don't think helps your DUI plea at all.
No, plus you've just loaded up so that by the time you get back at the station, you're at your maximum.
Yeah, well, of course, now maybe that was clever by accident. Maybe they were going to be like, well, we were totally sober, but then we wrecked the car and we started drinking.
Yes.
You can't prove we weren't.
Yeah, exactly. He saw us drinking, officer.
Yeah.
Did you see them drinking in the car?
Yep.
Did you see them before? No?
Yep.
My work is
There
done
you go.
here.
They started after they had the accident.
Origin of domesticated chicken identified. Huh,
Not only that, but apparently the ones from Angry Birds, based on the shape of that photo. Look at that thing. That is like perfectly round domesticated chicken.
I like it. It looks very cute, very happy. I'm a little concerned about that person's thumb. Little bit. Looks
that's
like
right. Yeah,
something happened there.
Yeah. They need to wash his handle more too there anyway. But yeah, so people who've got nothing better to do have been trying to figure out where the hell chickens came from. And it wasn't dinosaurs, well, directly, as I was hoping, because, I just like thinking of dinosaurs.
Absolutely.
I mean, 65 million years of evolution, there's a dinosaur back there somewhere. But,
right.
So it turns out they checked it out. They found out that they're about 10,000 years old. They come from China, and they are a subspecies of red jungle fowl mostly that was bred with green jungle fowl, which I guess I thought would make blue jungle fowl, but nope, makes chickens. So
wait, you're telling me only 10,000 years? 10,000 years? That's nothing.
That's about how long anything's been domesticated, so it kind of makes sense that chickens were around that long. So
all right. I guess the fact that I have a golden and labradoodle and they're not wolves feasting on me at night, it did take a little time to make that happen.
That took more work. Yeah. When you're eating the thing, you don't have to do as much.
Right. Cool to know. 10,000.
When you want them to love you, it takes 25,000 years.
That's what it does. Today's a 2-button day. Today is a 2-button day.
Good there.
This one, you can do it. You can do it, you son of a gun.
There are a lot of ads on this one, too.
Disney resetting Star Wars, erasing Last Jedi.
Okay, there's a few points I want to make about this one, but let me explain what the article is first.
Okay.
The article is saying that there is great internal debate over at Disney between the original Lucasfilm camp that came over and whoever greenlit the last trilogy. And the argument being the last trilogy could have been better, is what they're saying. And this argument is going so strongly that they're going to, according to the article, take a subplot from season 4 of Star Wars Rebels, where they essentially introduce a multiverse, so that way they don't have to retcon everything over and over again. And then they're basically going to say that the last trilogy was in an alternate universe and not part of the current canon timeline, which is something that I don't really care that much about, and neither do most people. But here's the best part of this, okay? Well, first of all, there's a couple. I don't know what the hell Cosmic Book News is. I've never seen this before. We don't have an image for it in our database. I ran the link anyway, but that means this thing popped up out of nowhere. Second of all, this incredibly long, incredibly detailed article is essentially built all on the saying of one man who goes by the name Doomcock Overlord. On YouTube.
They quote him. They actually quote him.
The whole theory is his. And how this became an article, I'm not sure, because I don't know that I believe that Doomcock Overlord is a trustworthy source in matters relating to Disney internal conversations. I mean, it could be George Lucas, but if it's not, I think we can safely say that Doomcock Overlord is just dreaming. And that, who knows what they're actually going to do, but I don't know if I believe this guy as well.
Well, Freak Diablo says that that's also his spirit animal. So,
Doomcock Overlord, yeah. I'm just sad it's taken. I mean, I was like, man, I wonder if doomcockoverlord.com is available. It's probably a porn site.
So are they doing, would this mean they're basically pulling a Star Trek and just resetting? It's just like,
yeah, the idea
start,
was they want to do another trilogy where, I mean, everybody died between now and then, so I don't know how that's going to play out. But anyway, yeah, they want to do some more movies that don't end the way they do.
Well, I'm going to remember that name, that's for sure. Dog hugs a reporter visiting a shelter to do a scary story until he allegedly decides to adopt her. This has to have happened time and time again.
I think so too, although I'm wondering about this because, like, I mean, when did the dog figure out this tactic would work? Well, let's go into it first. So basically, this is from Bored Panda, where we get many of our cute animal stories, and everybody's last name is either Albanian or Lithuanian, and it's probably okay, but who knows? Anyway, there was a reporter doing a story at a Humane Society thing, and the dog came up, started hugging her, wouldn't let go, and she took him home and adopted him. But my thing was, again, like, if the dog had been doing this all along, that dog wouldn't have been there that long at all. Right?
No, absolutely. I think it finally was successful with its training that they had worked on it. Because really, if you're running a shelter, why would you not? You're like, give them treats, all right. You show them every begging style that they can use and enhance.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, we don't know that that's hugging. I mean, to be fair, I'm assuming it is, but that could be something else.
I don't know.
At any rate, whatever it was, she was convinced. She adopted the dog, and now the dog is at home. At least until 2 weeks ago when she told a bird watcher in Central Park that she was calling the cops on him. No, that's an unrelated story, but I like to tie those two together.
I like it.
There you go. So if you're a dog and you're watching this video and you want to get adopted, just hug all the reporters, and that ought to get you out of there.
It's a great way of doing it. Great way of doing it. Well, that is the news for...
It is.
How many days left do we have in June?
Oh, God, I don't know. What is it, 29th? 1.
1?
No. Or is it the 30th? What day is
Today's the 30th. Okay.
Then we're done. It's July tomorrow.
All right.
We're done. No more June.
Great July.
We're out of June. Yep, exactly.
Well,
we're getting close to the litany of people doing dumb stuff in Florida with fireworks. I haven't seen any yet, but it's coming, man. Like this week or next, we're going to be lit up literally with these stories.
Hey, Quiet Jay, thank you. Subscribed with Twitch Prime for 3 months.
Yeah, that's fair, because I didn't know what the hell this was either. If you have Amazon Prime, they give you a free subscription, and if you subscribe, we get like $5 or something. I can't remember what it is. So
really?
If you don't mind, like, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. It's in our account.
Then I should do that.
Yeah. We can get our own $5. Yeah, no kidding. Seriously, actually.
Yeah.
I think I have to subscribe to Storm's channel just so somebody does.
Absolutely.
So we didn't have the ed on today because Meg, our dev person, is driving across Mexico, rural Mexico, and apparently signal's not that great out there, and don't want to embed something, have something go wrong, and then be like, oh, sorry, we got to leave that up for all the rest of the day.
No, you just say to me, Don, you got to be on there. You're stuck on there on the page. You gotta do more boring commentary. So
that's right.
We had
day's coming up.
We had an awesome time last week doing the what do we call it?
Whiplash.
Farklash. That's what we did.
Farklash, yes. And yes, we can totally start drinking now, by the way. Smed7 was wondering. I mean, that's my plan. I don't think I have anything to do. I might have to play Dungeons & Dragons with my kids, but other than that, I think I'm... but I got a busy day. My Tuesdays and Wednesdays are just non-freaking stops, so I'll take it easy on Thursday.
Yeah, I do love a good Thursday, love a good Friday. But it's exciting. Yeah, I have Friday off. I don't know. Well, yeah. You're married to the Fark. So
indeed, it never stops. There's all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Today's been a busy news day today, and I'm just hoping that Trump nukes the moon or something, because that would be one of those. Sure, today's the day for that. Like, let's do it. Why not? I'm already busy anyway.
Well, how else are we gonna prepare for asteroids coming at us unless we shoot a few things out of the sky?
Well, true. Yeah.
I would love it.
Exactly.
I would love it. So
yeah,
we've got that going on. I've decided I want to make a political commercial.
Oh, good, cool.
Yeah, against
not wearing
both.
masks in stores.
No, I wanna do it against every politician or something like that. So because it's easy enough. So many clips out there to do, and also I want to do the voiceover. Really dark and horrible and all that. So I'm gonna. That's kind of my creative side project I want to work on. We'll bring
very cool. Yeah.
So, all right, guys, that's it for your Tuesday, and we'll just get back to work.
Yeah, we'll jump back on this tomorrow. I think probably sometime in the afternoon again. I got to check it out. I got people wanting me to go do a long ass bike ride now. I don't know when and where. So
people.
yeah.
All right, sounds good. We shall see you all tomorrow. Bye.
All right, take care, everyone.